right, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV, and now to our main conversation for today. A truck conveying food items was looted on Monday in Dede, Buari local area of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja. The residents were seen stealing bags of food items from the truck. The incident happened barely 24 hours after some residents of the Federal Capital Territory on Sunday looted a warehouse over the current economic hardship across the country. Confirming the incident, the spokesperson for the police in Abuja, Josephine Ade, said the situation was under control. The warehouse incident in Abuja also comes after residents of Zaria in Kaduna State looted several cartons of noodles from a moving truck loaded with foodstuffs belonging to a Bua company, a stark indicator of Nigeria's escalating economic hardship and the public unrest coming from discontent over food cost in Nigeria. With me in the studio today are two learned colleagues, and we have joining us in the studio Barrister Jide Ologun. He is a lawyer and also public affairs commentator, and still in the studios with me is Barrister Evans Ufeli. He is also a barrister law and also public affairs commentator. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning.
And welcome to Enterprise Morning.
Thank you.
All right. So quickly, we've listened to the main conversation itself and the little thing that we had going on. But the question is, I'd love to start by stating this. The 2022 Global Hunger Index ranks Nigeria 103, that's 103 out of 121 countries, categorizing the severity of its hunger level as serious at 27.3 points. This is really disturbing, if you would agree with me. But I'd love to start with you, Barrister. So I'd love to start with you. What do you think of this? And is there a way forward?
Absolutely, there's a way forward if we take the right action. Because this is not a crisis that just jumped on us. You know, we've been talking about it, and here we are with the stark realities. And let's go to the macro environment. The United Nations threshold for poverty benchmark is about $2.15 per day for a person. And if you multiply that by 30, gives you approximately 97,000 naira, you know, given the foreign exchange benchmark in Nigeria. So how many Nigerians are within even that minimum poverty level, talk less of living above it? And again, there was a result that came out, year 2022, let's be generous on this, about 133 million citizens were within the multifaceted poverty window. That is, you know, disturbing too. So now with the hunger in town, with the hardship, you can see the people reacting. And like I said, some of us predicted this. And this is just the beginning.
This is just the beginning.
Yes. We're part of what we also said. And we hope the government rises up to checkmate what is going on, is that the elite may be attacked by the hungry, because there will be, you know, in public relations talk about perception, they will be perceived that they are enemies. That, okay, you are taking the resources of the country and enjoying yourselves, and we have been left in poverty and hunger. And it's getting there gradually. And that's why you have this issue of banditry, different kinds of crime, kidnapping in the land. And so, like you said, there's a way forward if we rise up to the occasion and start addressing the issue of distribution of wealth. Then we need to start addressing the issue of insecurity to ensure that even the production of food, you know, is stable in the country. That farmers could go there, invest to move our rudimentary agricultural engagements to the secondary level of agroeconomy and be productive, and then of course enhance the earning capacity of citizens by activating the economic environment to create an enabling environment. Otherwise, it may get worse.
It may get worse.
Yes, definitely.
Barrister Evans, it's often said that nature abhors vacuum. And the current situation we are in right now, of course, we can rule out some enablers, and the government, seem to be one of those people that lots of Nigerians would point towards. And I'd love to ask you, is this deliberate, especially coming from what the words on the street, saying that there is a deliberate desire to float the naira so we can bring in investors into the country. But of course, the avalanche effect is what we have today. So, is this deliberate?
I don't think the government, current government in Nigeria, have a solution to the problem. They are very confused, from the CBN governor to the minister of whatever you call, all of them put together. They have been so confused as to how to work on what is going on. My learned colleague said that it's going to get to a point where the hungry will start to attack the rich. But it's already happening. The looting in Abuja is the hungry attacking the rich. Those bags of food that are being conveyed belongs to Bua company.
It belongs to Bua company, but it's actually been paid for by somebody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I said, this is the same thing now. The hungry have already started attacking the rich. In Thomas Hobbes' The Leviathan, Thomas Hobbes said that once the citizens are disgruntled, the kings will have no peace. Okay? And the Constitution envisaged this when it said the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government, drawing government attention to the fact that whatever it is they do, okay, the fulcrum should be that the security and welfare of the people must be preserved, okay? And because the Constitution have laid down self-preservation as a cardinal principle for the advancement of the human condition, and the government of the day have failed in that regard, okay? You see, do not tell people that you have a better economic template to advance their condition when you have not thought it out. Do not tell people that if we remove subsidy, we are going to save money and life is going to be better. Do not tell people that because you have never run a government without subsidy in that area. So what you ought to have done is to look for a creative means of, first of all, empowering the people before you take whatever you are taking off. It is not about bragging like the president is doing currently, bragging and moving all over the place and talking carelessly. That will not solve the problem. It will aggravate the problem. Now, it is even mad now because it is the lowest class. They are the ones looting. I mean, we saw them on video and all that, taking things and moving up. But what exactly is the difference between the protectorates who are looting trucks, moving, and the politicians who are stealing? There's no difference. The money meant to develop this country have been stolen by politicians. And they go about with fake solutions, telling us that they're looking for the solution to the problem of Nigeria, creating more questions for us that we cannot answer. Okay? So, this government will better watch. I said this during the lockdown, when people were going to break down warehouses in Jos, in Lagos, and all over the place. I was on TV shouting that this is a dangerous thing that is happening now. The federal government should watch this. Some analysts came out and said, no, it is their right. That by law, it is their right that those foods are meant for the citizens. I said, okay, fine. Now, that template of the lockdown is what we have invested in full scale now. What is going on? You're still going to have, you see, these are the ones captured by cameras. There's a part of the country where they stopped a truck that was carrying yam and threw the driver out of the truck. And everybody invaded, including women and children.
Cutting away.
Yes, you know how dangerous that is? When you and your children are caught stealing. It means that you have not only wasted your life, you are also introducing children, the next generation, to wastage.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is complete robbery. And those who are arrested will be, it's not stealing, no. What they did is not stealing, it's robbery. It is not armed robbery because they were not armed, but it's robbery. Okay? So those arrested will face the consequences. But much more important than that, the government must address the issue from the top. You see all this grain that they release on the pages of newspaper. They release grain on newspaper. You cannot see the grain anywhere. The people see, we have, as I speak to you, we have people at the IDPs. These ones that are looting, these ones even have a place to lay their heads somehow. The ones that were displaced over 3 years ago, that have no place to go and have nothing to eat as we speak, we have not addressed those issues. So the government must come down from that high horse and look at the condition. The Lagos State government is trying to do one voodoo economical mama put arrangement
that's not sustainable.
We've not seen the impact of that, how sustained that is and what have been done so far. So,
exactly.
I mean, let the government do something.
Very, very true. So let's look at the issue of government doing something. The president has come out to say that he would not permit importation of food into the country. And that seemed to lots of people as food blockade. And that you can only see in war-torn countries. So don't you think that is equal to a crime against humanity coming from the president himself?
You see, Aesop, the wise man, said that after much is said and done, more is said than done. You see, and I think we are in a storm right now, confused about what to do. If we say we are not going to import food into the country, and we are saying also we export food out of the country, and we don't even have enough to attend to the citizens, where are we going? There's a trending news now that Ukraine offered Nigeria grains.
A country in war.
I doubt if that is importing palliatives into the country. So it's not about all these terminologies that we are talking about. And that is why we are facing what we are facing. The hungry man does not understand all these political promises. He's hungry. Families are hungry. Let me tell us, I dug into that report. The boys who usually help to unload trucks, they have identified. They also have their strategic plans and everything. Now, okay, the truck has come again. I even understand it's the same way as I was looted that the truck was going into.
Wow.
So and that means under the reinforcement theory in industrial psychology, they will also form their team and begin to scan for where things are kept. So whether you import or you do not import, the insecurity will escalate. You know, there was a time kidnappers were demanding 3 million, 5 million. Now they are demanding 700 million. You know what I'm talking about? So these are issues of concern. And there is an apparent perception. We are saying, oh, we need to go through hardship, but we are not going through it together. True. Some on the other side are in affluence. They go around in their SUVs, sirens, they spray money in parties, and these people see that we are in a global pocket, not even village anymore. On their phones, in their poverty, they can connect with what is going on. They see the display of wealth by leadership. The same leadership telling citizens to calm down. So how are they going to calm down? And my brilliant colleague mentioned the issue of attack. I'm reserving it. Now they are attacking trucks, and that is where we are going. They are attacking trucks, they're cutting away food items and grains. They may start attacking honorables. Please write it down. They know your houses, they know your investments, they live with your aides. And that may be where we are going. So don't think that when the Constitution says in section 14 subsection 2 that security and the welfare shall be the primary purpose of government, that the Constitution is referring to the poor. No. The security of the poor is the security of the elite. The moment the poor lose their sense of security, they become threats to the elite. And that is where we are. You need to go out there. I was doing a study. We have even broken the threshold of inflation. I think we are now in stagflation. Combination of hardship and because the prices are haywire. Recently, I read about government going to seal a warehouse. Those are palliative, reactive measures in public relations, in crisis management. The best form is to be proactive.
But
manage the resource of the nation effectively to empower the people. You see, so that is where we are now. What can we do? There's a Chinese magazine that says the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. How can we redistribute wealth in this country? How can we be sensitive to constitutional mandate? You are there as a responsibility to serve, not to be served. How do we ensure? It's in the Constitution that the wealth of the nation should be managed in a way that wealth is not concentrated in the hands of a few. Is that what we are having in Nigeria? You see? So, and obviously, these people are just, you need to go around. I have videos, I have pictures. Women picking things from dustbins. Women driving tricycles to make a living. I discussed this with my daughters. Come and see by yourself where we are as a nation. I remember making reference to politicians. There was a politician, I think in the Second Republic, was it Umaru Diko also, who said there is no poverty in Nigeria because people have not started eating from dustbin. He has died. I wish he is still alive to come and see Nigeria, the same Nigeria now. And so this is where we are. Countries that are developed engage their resources to generate common wealth for common
for the people.
That is not the story in this country.
Exactly.
Like he excellently mentioned, we have thieves on the other side. How are the oil thieves? You see this news. You see the badges, you see the farm tanks, you see huge infrastructures that criminals have established in your country, and you pretend as if you don't know who they are or where they are. You see, stealing our gold and everything. So if you don't regulate the system by the mandate of the Constitution, the impoverished will help you give direction towards anarchy. And that is what is imminent now. We have the responsibility to declare the truth. Because as a chief superintendent of police, I know a bit about criminology. You see, when people decide to really go out, they don't even care whether they die there or not. And that is the evil that is approaching. They are desperate. And the wise man said that a hungry man is an angry man. And so, going forward, we have a National Assembly, 109 senators, 360 House of Reps member. We have about 48 ministers. I'm not going to start counting the senior special assistants and the elite on there. Let them sit down now that the battle line is drawn. You see, a time may come when these people will defy your security when you are driving on the way.
Very true.
And block you and attack you. You see, we don't wish evil, but please, it's obvious, it's coming. You saw how the EndSARS protest got mobilized when people were, and now people like hunger and hardship is now gravitating people. And the hunger is gravitating people, breaking down the barriers between them. So they are now discussing and strategizing. So the government should also strategize to start doing the right thing, not just promising the right thing.
Exactly. Now, I think it's very important, and it wouldn't be fair, if we don't need this problem in the board. Let's call a spade a spade. The government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, does that mean there aren't enough economic minds in that team to have known that this would come, and now that it has come upon us, what way forward? Isn't there people great enough to solve this problem in the team of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed?
What we are suffering from is lack of planning.
Okay, not that we don't have good minds.
No, yeah, well, I would like to address it because the problem has been lingering for a while now, and they have not come up with any notable solution so far. So I would rather say that what we are going through is the aftermath of a thoughtless policy. A thoughtless policy of the thoughtless president before the current one. Both of them are thoughtless. Thoughtless and confused and unable to address the issue of the issues of hunger in this country.
I think it's fair.
It is basic economics.
Tone down on our.
No, there's nothing to tone down. This is my hand. They can come and arrest me and put handcuff there. I will say what I want to say. I'll say what I want to say. If people are thoughtless, you should say they are thoughtless. And that's exactly what it is. Okay, you did not plan economically, and you expect that the outcome of your impulsive expression should lead to economic direction. It does not work like that. It does not work like that. President Buhari and President Tinubu were working in concert. First, President Buhari did not make provision for subsidy in the 2024 budget, 2023 budget.
Yeah.
Budget. Now, Tinubu came and made the pronouncement, okay, and here is the position. So if you are taking subsidy away, why didn't you plan to work on minimum wage first, or work on having a system or an economy that empowers the people first?
But he said there was no budget to sustain the subsidy.
That is the thoughtlessness.
So how do you plan when there's no budget to sustain
the
subsidy itself?
The previous government did not budget for it. The current PIA, Petroleum Industry Act, did not provide for it. But the necessity on ground is that you know that 90%, if not 100% of goods and services, okay, that is fueled by petrol, diesel, activities, business, transportation, logistics, everything. So that is a commodity that you have to guard, so that if there is no budget for anything, maybe to give us steady power supply, or give us roads, or give us all the facilities we need, you should preserve this one that cut across everyone. You should preserve it. In fact, the government should be paying subsidy until they are able to fix the refinery. That's what they ought to have done. Okay, say we are going to pay subsidy in this administration for the next 3 years, but within that 3 years, we are going to ensure that all the refineries will start to work in maximum capacity and will build more. That is how to do it. So by the time the refineries are working and you are taking off subsidy, nobody will know. In fact, when the refineries are working already, because what are you using? You know what you pay, the differentials, because you are importing it, you export and import it. Is that the logistics you are paying for the differential? If you now have all the refineries working, why can't they work? If you don't have all of them working, would there be a need for that? There will not be need for it. It's simple. But you just go and just impulsively on the day of your inauguration, it's gone, and then you put the country into, and then you are unable to think, you don't know what you are doing again, up until now. You can manage your home like that. You can't manage 200 million plus that impulsively. The decision was impulsive. If the previous government did not budget for it, you can budget for it. And say, no, I won't take this now because this is what... there was a governor that was told that he should ban Okada. He said, no. There's no one to ban Okada. He does not have the capacity to manage armed robbers everywhere. That he does not have a police of his own that he can direct. That he will not ban Okada. Now what he will do is to tell them to stay away the express. That's all. They should keep riding whatever they are riding, wherever they are. That's the way to think. The policy is about the people. It's not about bragging. It's not about just talking impulsively. There are a lot of... if you go out there now, you see there are children who trek 8 kilometers now to school every day. Nobody's talking about it. They talk about palliative buses. All those things are false.
The CNG buses that...
Yes, when you throw a population of this size into hardship, and you throw children into different kind of discomfort, you are not going to ever have peace. So this thing that I'm saying that they are the one that have money, they are the one that have money. Yeah, you can have money, but peace will never be guaranteed. And without peace, you cannot even enjoy that money. So if I were the government, I will reinstate subsidy immediately. Femi Falana, SN, last week, called on this government to review subsidy.
Reviewing subsidy, do you
Yes.
think that will trickle down the price of goods in the market? We all know how Nigeria works. When products go up, they don't come down. So do you think reviewing subsidy and bringing it down?
We have a price control law. We have a law on price control, and they can go and enforce it. If what led to the hike in price is addressed, and people are still going overboard, you get there. You get there. And price has a way of coming down when the conditions are different. Okay? No, they are saying, okay, open the border. Why is it saying we not open the border? You have food, you don't have money to purchase it. If you have more food on the food we have, it will crash the price. Okay? Because if people are not purchasing from those who want to retain the old price, they will go to where they have a new price because food is coming in to buy. That one will force this thing to go down. So to solve this problem is not rocket science. Go and reinstate subsidy. Go and reinstate subsidy. You don't have the capacity to manage Nigeria without subsidy for now. Go back and reinstate subsidy. That is the assignment. All this bragging will not work. People will invade wherever you are, and they will knock it down. I'm just telling them, I don't have any business with this government too.
Your final thoughts,
There is
please.
even another issue on the table. Some are even claiming that we are still paying subsidy.
Yeah,
Everything is shrouded in secrecy. But let me say this. In addition,
Yeah.
whether we restore subsidy or not, we have learned a lesson. Now we know the consumption, probably the most reliable consumption on a daily basis, because in the regime of subsidy, it was exaggerated. Then who are the subsidy scammers? Section 15 of Section 5 of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended says that the state shall abolish corrupt practices and abuse of office. So whether the president restores subsidy or not, as long as we romance the criminals in our country, the high and mighty, oil thieves, gold thieves, lithium thieves, those who go to the public treasury and still want 20 billion, as long as they are there, we are going nowhere. And look outside of the window. What some leaders do in Nigeria, can they try it in North Korea, in China, in Japan? So if you cannot secure the wealth of the nation, you cannot deal with poverty. That's another angle. We just read about Betty Edu, and I was saying it, I hope this news will not become smoke and just disappear into the thin air without consequence.
It's already smoke.
So there are many crimes without consequence in the land. Till now, even though the government acknowledged identifying about 400 sponsors of Boko Haram, how many of them have been brought to justice? These are issues. So you find a group of persons oppressing the nation, whether as individuals or corporate organizations. And if you know them and you cannot deal with them, too bad. Because history is documenting again. We like to say that as analysts. So whether you like it or not, whether you promise or not, history is documenting how people are suffering, how this is happening. So at the end of your tenure, you can look back. You know, Favour Adesina is writing books for the former president, Buhari. Congratulations to his skills and things like that. But the historians have documented all that happened. And what some of us were saying then, that when Buhari leaves office, you will read about the level of corruption that would have been perpetrated. Look at CBN. CBN has been turned to something that does not even have description anymore. So look at our foreign exchange. Look at everything. So these are issues. So if the government is serious about repositioning Nigeria on the path of prosperity, maybe our president can invite Paul Kagame for a conference.
Let's sit down.
Exactly, or visit Tanzania. Or, I mean, he was in Qatar recently. I mean, I expect he would have asked them, hey, what did you do here?
We hope so.
To have a sane society. Otherwise, just be going round and round. But please, democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Exactly.
And if we are going to sustain democracy as a style of government in Nigeria, we must play by the rules. Otherwise, the people will form their own government, like they are doing now, and begin to attack. And that is anarchy. And I doubt if we deserve that. So please, the resources we have in this country, they are enough to go around and make people rejoice. And permit me to quote the scriptures that when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So I don't want to say the other side.
As well.
To consideration.
That's great. That's great. Well, the fact of the matter remains that we can't have a sustainable society that is chaotic. What Nigerians need is a society and a country where they would get what they deserve, coming from leaders who truly do understand the true definition and meaning of leadership. I'd love to say my big thank you to Barrister Jide Ologo for being part of our show today. Thank you so very much for it. It was really indeed an engaging discussion. Also, Barrister Evans Ufeli, thank you so very much, sir, for
Thank
also
you.
being
Welcome.
part of our show today. And for you watching, we'd love to say thank you so very much also for being part of our show today. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Ikwebike. I'll see you tomorrow for yet another great time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye from me.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.